Hey everyone, welcome to the Fin Factor live edition. This is the post game for round 3, game number 6, where the San Jose Sharks have not only been defeated by the St. Louis Blues by a score of 5-1, but they've also been ousted from the Stanley Cup playoff hunt.
Boo! This sucks. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same way.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are probably not too happy with the end result there. It's unfortunate. Sharks had lots of injuries that popped up there. Anytime you lose your regular season leading goal scorer and captain, and then you also lose two-time Norris Trophy winning amazing defenseman in Erik Karlsson, and as well as probably the second best centerman forward that you had on the team going into these playoffs. I mean, any team that loses that is probably in for a rough go. So, the St. Louis Blues, they capitalized, they put in the hard work, and defeated them 5-1 tonight.
I think the Blues, what you said earlier, invested in the series, basically. They kind of looked outmatched, definitely in game 1. I thought the Sharks were going to be able to pull it off and do a lot better, but they got banged up big time by the Blues, and it paid off in the end run. And I'm not blaming everything on injuries either. I think the Blues outplayed the Sharks.
Sure.
And Sharks, I mean, how many goals did they get in the last 3 games combined, right? Was it they only scored 1 in game 3?
They scored 2.
Was it game 4? Game 4? What was the finals?
2-1.
So they
because we
one
kicked
goal,
in 2, right?
no goal,
right,
and 1 goal. So 2 goals in the last 3 games. That's not going to do it.
No.
So not only the Blues beat that streak of 2 goals or less, and then from that point on, the Sharks just looked defeated. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it truly is. And then we had said, how would we feel about them not making it to the Cup final, or what's considered a disappointment? For me, I said if they don't make it to the Stanley Cup finals, that it would be a disappointing season for me. It is disappointing, obviously. I think I understand a little bit better. I can understand the way that this played out better, right, than if they just didn't make it. But yeah, of course it's disappointing. I think this team had a lot of potential. I think this was probably the best team on paper, at least, that the Sharks have ever put on the ice. And as a St. Louis Blue fan, and I were kind of going back and forth a little bit. Yeah, it's on paper doesn't mean as much as on the ice. The game's not played on paper, and we've said as much, right? So obviously he's new to the show, so he hadn't heard me say that one before. But yes, absolutely on paper, I still feel we were the better team, but. They outworked and outplayed. Credit to the St. Louis Blues for playing, a blue-collar game. They went out there and they just outworked everybody. They outskated everybody. They outbattled everybody. So, they absolutely deserve to move on.
Yeah, I agree. I think what I had said was I'd be disappointed, obviously, they didn't make the finals, but I wouldn't be as disappointed if they got to a Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals and lost in Game 7. So I am disappointed in this season.
By 1 game.
By 1 game. I was hoping they would get there, and obviously they didn't. Yeah. So it's disappointing. I mean, it's disappointing when they lose in the playoffs, but at this point we're kind of used to it.
Yeah.
So.
And I have to ask you, because I had my sister-in-law was at my house watching the game with me and my family, and she and my niece, they were both looking at me going, "You're like oddly calm right now." And and I'll ask you how you felt too. But for me, it was like, going into the game, I was almost kind of expecting that it wasn't going to go well. Like, you kind of get this feeling like, yeah, maybe the Sharks can take what they have left, and still what they have left is also better than some of the other teams in the league. You still got guys like Nyquist and Kane and Couture. I mean, these are really good players that even if you don't have a top 9 that's stacked, you can still consolidate those into like a good top 6, right? So I thought we had a chance. Not a very good one, obviously. But they were telling me, you look oddly calm. And it's like, yeah, I kind of felt like this is kind of the way that it might go. And so I was just kind of curious how you reacted.
I mean, going to this game, I thought, okay, we don't have Karlsson, we don't have Pavelski. I figured Pavelski wasn't going to play. And we don't have Hertl. And that's what was really bad was that Hertl and Karlsson didn't even make the trip. Pavelski did.
Right.
But I still was like, okay, that's his second concussion in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's not good. It's not good for his overall health as a person, let alone a hockey player. So I had a feeling he wasn't going to play. And what I was hoping for was to see a Martin Jones Game 6 against Vegas type performance tonight, where we would steal a game and come back here, because there's no way on skill alone, I don't think tonight was going to happen. However, Dylan Gambrell's goal, I do want to point out, that was fantastic. And I thought, wow, the Sharks are down 2-0. That was a huge goal. And I thought that could be a turning point. And if the Sharks can tie this up, that's going to just completely wipe the momentum of this game. And I think suck the air out of the Blues fans, because they'd probably be like, here we go again, just like Sharks fans do, right? And you have to remember that the Blues haven't been to the finals since 1970. So when the Blues first entered the league, it was 1967-68 season, and they just expanded the league, and they put all the expansion teams in one division. So they were the winners of
the best of the worst.
The best of the worst, right? The best of the expansion teams. Right. So they were just cannon fodder when they got to the finals. So 3 years in a row, they made the finals, 68, 69, and 70, and they got swept all 3 times. So they've never even won a Stanley Cup Finals game, let alone a series. Right. So, imagine being a Blues fan, how exciting it was tonight for them to go to the finals for the first time in almost 50 years, 49 years. So fantastic job. I want to say fantastic job to St. Louis. They have a great team. One of the teams that we had pointed out in the very beginning of the season that we thought was going to be a leader going into the Western Conference, and I'll have to go back. I have a feeling I said the Blues and Sharks in the
really?
conference in the beginning of the season.
Wow.
But I could be wrong, but
Probably not.
But the Blues, obviously, they didn't have a season that they were hoping for either in the beginning, and then they turned it on since January 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong on that. I kind of remember you saying something to that effect earlier too, because I do remember Aaron pointing out, the Blues went out, got some depth, some acquisitions there, and that they look like a very good team, very deep team, and they're going to be awesome. And then they came out of the chute and were terrible.
Yeah.
And then after a little while there, and they put Binnington in net, and everything kind of took off. Now, talk about some of the things you need to win a cup. One of those was luck. I think it's extremely lucky that they were able to get Binnington, put him into that role, and he responded the way that he did, and then he got comfortable playing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Sammy Blais. They're one of their forwards, one of their wingers. He came in and he played, and he, I think, started playing during, was it second round or something like that? I don't know. He was just kind of out of nowhere, just kind of came in and played, and he sparked that team. He's a good physical presence. He's all over the ice. At least today he was too. So, again, there's some luck that's involved. Not that those guys are lucky, that Binnington's lucky to make saves, but I think the organization is lucky that those guys were able to step in and play as well as they did, right? And that's what you're looking for out of those young guys when you plug them in. So,
and going back to this game alone, I thought Binnington got the benefit of some luck.
Sure.
Puck luck is what they call it. Kane could have finished a couple. He was in up close, and that was still when it was a close game. I think Couture had a chance. I think
swing and a miss.
Yeah. Within inches, and that would have tied it. That would have made it 2-2. So the Sharks had their chances, and I was hoping that they would. Obviously, I was hoping they're going to bury him and go to a Game 7. But we really needed the Sharks to step up and the young guys. And I thought Gambrell had a decent-looking game because he was getting a little bit more minutes than just a fourth-line guy at that point. I think there were some guys that it'll be interesting to see what the injuries will be out with. And just to let you guys know for our schedule, this is going to be our last live for, I'd say, this season. We'll call it season 2 when the next season starts. So this will be our last live show. We're going to do a recorded episode, and we're going to shoot to get that out on Friday, kind of debriefing and recapping this series and maybe even the season. Maybe even spend 5-10 minutes looking ahead at the finals just to cover those few teams. But we appreciate you guys sticking around, and we got 120 watching right now, so that's fantastic. What else do you want to talk about before we start diving into comments here?
What's there really to say? Again, the Sharks just kind of got outplayed. It's a lot easier to outplay the Sharks in today's game than it was in Game 5, but even then in Game 5, I thought the Sharks just got outplayed flat out. You could see the Blues were just... They had their energy. They're running. I said one of the keys for this game is going to be put smelling salts in their gloves and just constantly while they're skating, because the Sharks just looked depleted. They looked like they had nothing left in the tank. For one reason or another, it could be injuries, could just be that they've played the most amount of games and they've had some grueling series and whatnot as well. Those aren't excuses; those are observations. But they just looked like they were out of energy, and the Blues were not. The Blues ran up and down the ice all game. There was really only the third period, I think, in both games where the Sharks looked like they had a little bit of life, and it was like it was too little too late. Even when it was 5-1 today, and you see the Sharks all of a sudden striking, like really going after the puck and really going. I'm like, guys, there's like 2 minutes left. It's way too little, too late. Like, why start that now?
Right.
You know, so I don't know. It's kind of strange. But anyway, no. Again, full credit goes to St. Louis Blues and their organization and all the depth that they had. You could see it on display tonight. Again, 100% healthy for 100% healthy. I'll still take the Sharks. But now the landscape looks a whole lot different. We just read a tweet about all the different pending UFAs that the Sharks are going to be having, and we could talk about that later on. But at least
we'll do a show in the summer about that.
But for tonight's game, again, credit to the Blues. They played well. They even with all of our guys in the lineup and maybe at the percentage of healthiness that they were, I still think that the Blues were stronger team in this series. So
one thing I want to talk about is the refereeing. There's a lot of Sharks fans that are blaming not only the refs but the NHL player safety for not suspending some players for the hits. No, they did their job. The hits were not dirty enough to warrant a suspension. I don't think that the refs or the league, and there's no conspiracy against a team of who wants to play, like who they want to play in the finals.
Yeah.
It's just that doesn't happen. So if that did happen, the NHL itself would collapse. I mean, you have to think about it that way. You have to have trust in the NHL. You have to have trust in the player safety, the referee association. If anything was corrupt, it would be terrible. That's like a third world country type thing where, that this is not that. So relax a little bit there. When I see people doing that, like blaming the refs or blaming the league or blaming whatever, that just, to me, that's them thinking, okay, there must be an easy explanation for this. It's the league, it's a conspiracy because there's no way that my team could lose to that team, right? That's kind of the thing. So the Sharks lost the Blues. The Blues outplayed them. The Blues outlasted them in the series. They hit harder and made an investment earlier in the series, and it paid off dividends later on when we were missing players. So we got beat by a better team. Yeah, and that's it.
And that's, again, one of the things that I love about this sport. And it's unfortunate because it went against us today, right? It's or in this series, rather. It's not always that the better team is going to win, right? And it's not that, the referees, hosed us on that one, and that's why. Otherwise, we'd win. Well, no. It's this league. The parity in this league is so great that any team can really beat any other team. And again, I always go back to the Columbus taking out Tampa Bay. Not even just taking them out, sweeping Tampa Bay. There is no reason that Tampa Bay should have lost that series, let alone get swept in that series, right? So it's one of those things that I love about the sport. At any point in time, any team can show up and say, no, we're winning tonight. I don't care who you are, right? This one, obviously, much closer than, say, a team like Columbus and a team like Tampa Bay. I think St. Louis Blues are going to represent the West well. But
there's a lot of people in here saying that the Bruins are going to beat them because I don't know. I actually don't know.
But here we go. The Bruins, on paper and everything else, you look at it, the Bruins will probably win that series. But
I think the Blues are a little deeper than the Bruins.
You just never
personally
know. Yeah.
I think it'll be a good matchup, and I think the Blues will be able to take it to them. Real quick, though, thank you, Raider, Rich, and Christ for $2. Win, lose, or tie, which you can't tie anymore. Sharks fan till I die.
Oh, because it
wants
rhymes,
to make it rhyme.
Yeah, okay, good.
Thank you, Raider Rich. I don't know. I don't know. Another one.
Do you want to cry, Aaron?
Sorry.
Do you just want to cry?
I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, and I can't do it. My brain just isn't working. Raider Rich and Christ again, another $2. Sharks fan got the Blues.
Thank you.
Sharks fans got the Blues.
We did, yeah. We got the Blues. That is true.
Yep.
Hey, again, it is what it is. There's 30 teams that are going to go home without a cup, and
right
St.
now,
Louis Blues fans.
There's 29 right now that have gone on and not won a cup.
Yeah, St. Louis Blues fans, you might be one of them. So, again, I wish you guys all the best, but you just never know. I mean, the Bruins are a very good team, maybe not as deep as you said as St. Louis, but the guys that they have, forces to be reckoned with too. So we'll see.
Right. All right, so should we get into the comments here?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right.
Jump on in.
A lot of people are talking about, is Joe Thornton going to retire? Do you think Joe Thornton is going to retire?
That's a tough one for me because everything that I've heard is he should retire, but I've also heard that for the past 2 years, right? The guy's still ticking, and he's still going, and he still wants to be at the rink, and he wants to be a part of the team. He wants to play. He doesn't want to retire, the guy. He doesn't want to. the story was they think they're going to have to force him to retire. They're going to have to make him leave the rink and finally say goodbye to the sport because, well, not maybe goodbye to the sport. He might go back into like a coaching role or something like that, or maybe the front office, like a Ricci kind of thing or something. Who knows?
I could see him coaching or being a kind of a player development type.
Sure, yeah, I think player development wouldn't be bad. But will he retire? I mean, we're fans. We don't know. But do I think he should retire? I think if they won the Cup this year, yeah, he'd retire. He should.
I have a feeling he's going to hang up the skates.
You think so?
I think so. I think just based on what I saw in the last week or two, it's not his offense that's the problem. It's the back checking.
Mm-hmm.
The back checking and the defensive zone coverage, I think, is, unless he can move to wing and he has a little bit less responsibilities, but he's going to be playing, I'd say, 12 minutes a night and doing a full 82 games plus playoffs again.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, and wingers are going to be the guys that are streaking up out of the zone ahead of everyone else.
Right?
And yeah, so Thornton as a winger probably doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. So, I mean, he may very well hang him up. But again, for the past 2 years, that's all we've been hearing is that Joe Thornton, is this his last year as a Shark? Is this his last year in the NHL?
Yeah.
Is he done? Is he going to hang him up? It's like the guy doesn't want to leave. He'll retire when he's ready to retire, not when fans tell him you're too old. Because we've been telling him he's too old.
We'll probably know right around July 1st, which is the free agent signing day.
Sure.
I think his birthday's on the 2nd, I believe it is, July 2nd.
You know Joe Thornton's birthday?
Because he signed his contract on his lawnmower on his birthday. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Maybe it was.
I didn't realize that was his birthday.
It was on his birthday too. Yeah. So he's just. Was he shirtless in that picture?
Probably. Knowing Joe. Yeah.
Shout out to Alex Weston, who is a St. Louis fan, a buddy of mine. You guys are completely honest and sincere. Heart. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Can you tell that to the rest of your Blues friends? Because according to them, we're incredibly biased. We only talk well about the Sharks. We have excuses for everything. And it's just like, I don't know. I think we're pretty level-headed and even.
We try to be, but we still get flack from Blues fans.
I told someone, like, look, I think you're mistaking excuses for observation. I'm sorry, observations for excuses. Like, we're making observations. Guys, Blues fans, this is a show that's more Shark-related from Sharks fans living in San Jose.
What?
And they're asking us to talk about the Sharks. Like, what do you expect us to do, right? Like, we have to talk about this. So
there were more Blues fans, I think, commenting on our stuff than Vegas and Colorado combined.
Yes.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's deeper in the playoffs.
Although
they're going to the finals.
We did have our resident Colorado fan,
Nathaniel Arias.
He chimed in earlier saying something I can't remember.
Something about he's happy to find us and classy San Jose Sharks fans.
Yeah, so I mean, see, guys like that.
There's
Colorado.
good people in the world.
There are.
There's not just bad fans.
And it's us.
There's good and bad. There's good and bad fans.
There's good people that are looking at us. You mean?
Right.
Okay, I thought we were the good people.
No, I'm just saying there's good. We are the good people. There's good people, good fans. They're not all bad fans. Is my point. That's my point.
Love it.
That came out right.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's also talk about. There's a lot of comments about this, about the fight with Aaron Dell and Radil. And you know what that is? That's
a brawl.
Frustration built up between two players that aren't even starting or playing, and it was a practice. It was just a quick shove and a little swing of a stick. That stuff happens all the time. The media happened to catch it. That's what I think.
You know who knows all about that? Blues fans.
Right. They had a fight in December.
Well, the players, yeah.
Blues
players did. Yeah.
I think it was right before they started winning.
I think it was.
Right?
It was like on their really lowest of lows.
I think
and they had a fight, and then all of a sudden they kind of resurged and went back and started winning some games. And I was kind of thinking, man, wouldn't that be great? Dell and Radil throw down in practice, and all of a sudden the Sharks. No, not gonna happen. No. But no, I mean, I think Kerr said that the problem was that Dell likes Sansa or something like that in Game of Thrones, and Radil likes Cersei or Daenerys, and that's what they were arguing about.
I mean, it could have been Radil's in front of the net on a play in practice, and maybe he clipped them or something, right? And you just said, "Hey, don't get so close."
Yeah.
And Radil's English isn't great, so he probably thought he was talking smack, and so I don't know. I'm speculating.
Hey, that's
completely speculation. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But in the times you guys have played sport and practice, have you ever thrown down with somebody?
Me personally, no, but I've had teammates that
yeah.
There's teammates that I've played with. There's just certain types of people that are that are athletes.
Yeah.
Not everyone's like this, but there's very alpha male basically that are in sports. A lot of them, and when you get two alphas together, they like to. That's how they settle arguments. And there's no carryover. It's done. After that, it's done. So to me, it wasn't a big deal. Like, it was just a scuffle practice. If they dropped the gloves and were trading blows, then yeah, that's a big deal.
Right.
This was like a little.
There's a stick swing, right?
That would have been a bigger reveal.
A stick swing to a goalie that's wearing pads.
Yeah.
Like,
did the coach get hit?
Almost. He might have gotten clipped. I couldn't tell.
I don't think anybody heard my pun.
I heard
Say it again.
It was a bigger reveal. If it was dropping the gloves.
Boo.
Like, we're not getting enough hate from the Blues fans right now.
That's the dad joke for the dad.
I'm getting it from you and from the producer. This is ridiculous.
That was the worst joke ever.
Go ahead. Next comment.
Go ahead and stream Game 7.
Oh, sorry. Can we bring that up real quick?
Yes.
One of the fans was saying,
yes.
So, I think it's hilarious that there's no post-game 6 crying face, laughing face, whatever. And
hold on, let me see where he commented.
Dude, we're just getting ready for it right now. Here's the link to it if you'd like to join.
That was round 2, game 7 that he commented that on.
Round 2.
Clearly, he was watching us, which is great.
On his TiVo.
He got lost. I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good. Happy to have you guys watching us. No problems here. Which, by the way, I don't know if we eclipsed it or not, but last I checked, we were at 1798 subs on YouTube here.
If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and push us over the
Did
edge.
we blow past it or not? We haven't? I don't know. I'm curious. Well, anyway, queue up another question here. We'll see
a lot of people are talking about the coaches.
Yeah.
Do we need to change the coaching staff? Deboer or the assistants or anything?
The only thing I would say, let's take a harder look at. Well, no, okay. Yes.
Like Spot is one of them that they keep saying.
I think you're a little spot on. That's my second dad joke.
$17.99, by the way.
Was it?
We're at $17.99. We need
one more. Somebody hit that button. Come on. No. So I think you're spot SPOTT on that one. So I think that Steve's Spot was running the power play, and the power play was not very good. I think we need to explore a different architecture, if you will, for the power play. There's a couple set plays that I really like, but there's a lot more that I think we could be doing, again, keeping Burns in that OV office off on the left-hand side and letting him just rip from there. I think that's to me, that's awesome, because that's another potent threat that you have.
And I think it was working well, and they finally did it last 2-3 games.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure who's running the defense now. I think Rob Zettler was running the defense, then they did their whole like mix and match and shake up kind of thing, and it might have been Rob Barr. I'm not sure if that's his first name, Rob, but his last name is Barr. I'm not sure who's defensive coach right now, but whoever that is, I think whoever they put into that place, if it's the same guy or if they go get somebody else, they need to have a much better grasp on playing team defense. And yeah, some of that has to do with, again, Jones is not an elite goaltender. We've never claimed that he was. We know that he steps it up during the playoffs, but it's still a very large factor having all those players around you, the 5 players that are on the ice in front of you, playing solidly in front of you. And if they're not doing that, I don't care who you are. You could be Carey Price. You could be Sergei Bobrovsky, and it's not going to matter, because when you have 2-on-1s, breakaways, those are the highest danger chances that you're going to see. And the Sharks were giving up a ton of those earlier in the season. Not so much down the road, right, down the stretch. But even then, we see in that one game, how many shots did Blues have in the first period? 10. How many slot shots did they have?
9?
10.
Oh, it was 10.
Every single shot was in the high danger area. It's like you can't do that.
You can't expect to win a playoff game doing that.
You can't expect any goaltender. Right. Yeah, an elite goaltender is going to make more of those saves. Well, yeah, that's the definition of being elite, is by being more consistent in how good you are, right? He's not as consistent, right, as one of those top-level goalies. But at the same time, you cannot let them have 10 out of 10 shots in his grill. Like, that's just, it's ridiculous. You can't do that.
Thank you, Nathaniel Arias.
Okay.
$9.99. Love your show. An awesome fan base in San Jose. Blues worry me, and I think finish Boston in 6 or 7. For sure, staying subscribed for seasons to come. Keep up fantastic work. Hope Avs meet up again with the San Jose Sharks. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging around, too, for another round with us.
Yeah.
We will be back for season 2, and most likely, like, we'll probably do what we did last summer, which was cover the draft, cover the free agent signing day within a couple of days, because not everything happens in one day. If anything big happens between now and spring training. What's it called?
Development camp.
Development camp.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably go to the Fan Fest again, do some fun things.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll be out with the people, out of the studio.
The studio.
We'll bring the studio to you, and you can join us.
And the studio's getting an upgrade.
And the studio will be getting an upgrade. We're gonna upgrade lots of things around.
Super chats help.
And a lot of
Super
that
chats definitely help. Yes,
a lot of that has to do with the super chat and all the support that we're getting from you guys. Again, there's monetarily the way you guys can help us out. Obviously, super chat, that's one way. Another way is through the store, thefinfactor.com. We have the shirts that are gray, black, and teal, as well as the hats and the stickers. So there's all that stuff. It's on the store. If you check out the thing down here, there's the coupon code. Still playoff mode. I think we're gonna have to find a cutoff date for that, obviously, because we're kind of not in playoffs anymore. So we may have a cutoff date for that coupon code, but.
We're gonna roll out our last. We're gonna do a series update.
Yeah.
Or recap. So we'll give it till Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
how about that?
Do you want to call it on Sunday, or because we're saying it right now, or do you want to get back to them and tell them when?
We'll let you know in our next recorded episode.
We'll let you know in the next time. Yeah, it might be on Twitter or something like that. Which, by the way, if you want to follow us on @TheFinFactor on Twitter and on Facebook, or @FinFactor for Instagram. Thank you, 12-year-old kid. So anyway. Now that we've plugged all that stuff, I was trying to hear you over a space shuttle launch.
Sorry.
So it was kind of rough. But any other questions you want to jump in there? By the way, again, thank you so much, Mr. Arias.
We're at 1807.
Bang!
Subs. Thank you.
Wow.
10 people that just subbed instantly. That's fantastic.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
People are talking about the injuries. Going to a double garage next year. That's funny.
Double wide.
Lundy 87. A lot of people talking about injuries. Yeah, they'll probably, they usually do like what is it called, a locker clean out day.
Yeah.
Where they do interviews and stuff, and people will come out, and there'll probably be a long list of injuries. Hopefully that comes out before we do our episode coming out this Friday morning, so we can go over that, because I'm always interested to know what everyone was playing with and dealing with. I suspect Kane was dealing with something, because he was just not right, and if he wasn't, then that contract looks bad. It's just, but I just don't think that's the case, because we've seen him play. So
if Kane wasn't dealing with something, I'd be shocked, because he just didn't look like himself. And this is a guy that put up 30 goals, and he had gone 10 games in the playoffs without a goal.
Right.
Like
11 now.
Yeah, there you go.
Jake Block has a question. Hey, Aaron, why do you think Pete Deboer deserves to stay? I'm going to answer this because he asked me.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think Pete Deboer is a fantastic coach. He's not what everyone would want, because a lot of Sharks fans like the John Tortorella type that is very a flair for the dramatic, if you will, in terms of in the media, and he's just not that way. He's more level-headed, even-keeled, and from what everybody has said inside the organization, even outside in the hockey world, he's a fantastic coach. He's brought the New Jersey Devils to the finals. He's brought the Sharks to the finals. He's brought the Sharks to 2 games within the finals. Mm-hmm. That was severely banged up probably after the Vegas series, really.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves to stay. There's no reason for him to be gone. I mean, not winning a cup, not getting to the finals within 2 games because of injuries. If this team was fully healthy and he didn't bring that team there, then he should probably go. But there were a lot of injuries and a lot to deal with. I mean, you lost your leading goal scorer for almost the entirety of the series against Colorado and half the series against the next round against the Blues. So, well, maybe not half, 2 games worth, game and a half worth. But still, that's a big blow to your team. Your captain, your leader is gone. So I think the assistants probably either need to get moved around or changed. Some of the strategies need to change. I think this year the Sharks changed their strategy in that if you look at the team that went to the finals in 2016 versus the team that played, or even the team that played last year versus this year they played more like Vegas Knights, where they would counterattack and try and get into the zone of speed, possess the puck, and be more aggressive, rather than the team that we used to see that was more defensive, sitting in a shell and waiting for the action to come to them and then trying to break out and do their thing. So I think the strategy change, it took a while for the Sharks to figure it out. It took a while for them to figure out Carlson getting added to that lineup. I just don't think that a guy gets to the Stanley Cup or the Western Conference Finals and even has a lead in the finals and can't get there, gets fired. That just doesn't make sense. And if he does get fired, he's going to get snatched up right away. I mean, it's weird to see all these coaches are moving around. Some get fired and then get hired right away. And a lot of people wanted Joel Quenneville. I always say his name wrong. Quenneville, who's now in the Florida Panthers, I believe. I think they hired him. So thankfully he got hired. So now the Sharks fans won't be yelling, for Deboer's head and for him to be hired. And I did hear on the radio that that's probably a destination for Panarin to go to.
Oh, really?
Who coached him in Chicago?
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
So Florida Panthers are going to get a lot better. Yes, because of a coach, and it's a destination. But San Jose is still a destination for free agents.
Yeah.
Regardless if Joe plays or not. So anyway, going back to the question, I think Pete Deboer stays. I have no problem with him. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think he has a brilliant mind. And people are saying he got outcoached in this. I just don't see it. I think he did what he could.
Give me your reasons for saying he got outcoached, right? I mean, if you have such an amazing hockey mind that you're able to pick apart what is the coach's plan versus the coach's plan, and as opposed to the plan not being executed the right way by the Sharks players, I think it's just too easy to say, let's fire the coach. And I know he's the guy that kind of gets the scapegoat, most times.
Right.
The GM has to look down at the coach and everything. It rolls downhill, right? But I just have a hard time with that because I think at the end of the day, the Sharks were successful in their season and getting them second in the Pacific, right? I mean, second in the West.
Second in the West.
So obviously something
league,
game plan wise was working for them, right? So I have a hard time with all of a sudden, the coaching kind of just fell off a cliff. I feel like it's more that the players were either not executing it properly or they couldn't execute it properly, i.e. injuries or whatever else the case may have been. But you have to remember too, in playoffs, there's a lot more that goes into the coaching for that team as opposed to in the regular season you're coaching for your team and how your team plays. In the postseason you're coaching not just how your team plays but also for what the other team's tendencies are, right? So maybe you have an argument there in that Deboer was doing really good during the regular season, but maybe he's not so great at analyzing the other teams. In which case, again, like Aaron said, I would point you to the Jersey Devils getting to the finals, the Sharks getting to the finals, and the Sharks just now getting into the Western Conference Finals, right, and getting 2 games away from making it to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I don't know. I think it's too easy to point to the coach and say, well, he's a problem. Especially for casual fans, maybe, or I'm not saying you're casual, but I'm just saying for any fans that aren't of extreme hockey knowledge, how would you really know if it's the players not executing it versus the coaching that just was not good coaching?
Is
right?
Tampa Bay going to fire their coach? Is
Cooper? No.
Is Nashville going to fire their coach?
No.
Who are the other ones that got bounced in the first round? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Real quick, Raider Savage 007. Thank you for the $4.99. No comment.
Oh, thank
if
you.
Have a comment, throw it in there. Sonic Tonic, $5. Been listening on the way home from SAP, now home watching. Got my Sharks tat today, my first. This game was more painful. That said, Sharks for life. That's awesome. I don't think I'll ever get a tattoo, but if I were, mainly because I wouldn't know what to get. You know what I would get?
That shoulder pad.
I saw somebody get that on their arm, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. And the shoulder patch, the round fin
with the
patch,
fin and
the old school one. That's what I would
I'm
do.
not really a tattoo person either, but I imagine if I got one, that's exactly what it would be. Either that or the fin factor.
One of the coolest tattoos that I ever saw. You know how like soccer national team jerseys, they have the crest that's right here, their team, right?
Did the tat right there?
He did the tat of it was England, and he did the England crest on his thing, and he was walking around shirtless. This is in Germany and during the World Cup.
That's cool.
I was like, I don't like tattoos like on myself, but I could see myself getting that. That's awesome. That's brilliant. Like I never would have even thought of that. Yeah. That's part of the problem about me getting a tattoo is I wouldn't even know what to get that I would want for life.
Why don't you just get that Sharks logo just on your chest, right in the front there?
Because then they're going to change the logo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Jason Hilliard, $10. I wanted to say thanks for a great first season of the Fin Factor. This is the best year since 2016 for me as a Sharks fan, and you guys made it extra special. Heart. Today's a sad day, but October will come soon enough, and we will be on before October.
Yes, we will.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. You've been a long time listener and follower, but one of our first, I feel like.
I think one of our first, Jason Hillier, absolutely. Thank you for sticking around so much. We're glad that you're enjoying the content. We're glad that what we're doing is being well received especially by the regulars. The folks that come in and kind of come and go, and the folks from other teams and whatnot that are popping in to kind of maybe poke a little bit of fun. That's all well and good, but it's nice having that strong foundation of guys that we've had for a very long time, and I imagine that some of those folks, like Nathaniel Arias, for instance, I imagine he's going to stick around with us too, and that's I know it's pretty cool when you got somebody from a different team that's coming and checking out your content. It kind of tells you you're doing something right, so we appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Get the Fin Factor tattoo, Jason Hillier.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on my forehead, just right here. It'll help the glare, I'm sure.
Great for marketing.
Sorry, there's a lot of comments. We have 190 people on here, so it's just going really fast. Jay, if you see any, call them out.
Wait, is Aaron behind on the chat?
Yeah.
No.
Right? Also, I must say, this is from Sonic Tonic, I must say I will still wear my Fin Factor hat with pride once it arrives. Thank you. Appreciate that.
If it hasn't shipped out yet, it's going momentarily.
Okay. Yeah, if it hasn't shipped out, it will by tomorrow. So you will get it soon. EK65, let's talk about him a little bit because there's a lot of comments about him right now. Flashes of from Super Chiaro. EK65 had flashes of brilliance but was inconsistent. I'm not going to say the last part. And then there's a bunch that are coming through. EK65 is not worth it from Jake Block. At this point,
in his current state,
or what he will be, assuming he gets healed, going into next season.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think he's absolutely worth every penny of what everyone keeps assuming that he's going to get paid. That $11-12 million range, right? I think he's worth every penny of that because you have to remember that the salary cap goes up. And how much is Sidney Crosby getting paid right now?
Was it
$8 million?
9?
So when they originally signed him to $8 or $9 million contract, whatever it was, when they originally signed him to that was a pretty good chunk of money.
It was the highest
right?
you could possibly do because there's a cap on how much you can give him. $8.7 million is what he's making.
There you go. 8.7. Now he's probably gone through a few years of that contract now and everything, right? So if you tell me that $11 million is too high, in the now, yeah, I'll agree with you. In probably 4 or 5 years, no, $11 million is going to look like a bargain. Are you kidding me?
If he's still playing at the same elite level.
Yeah,
in 4 or 5 years, I think he will be because he's only 28.
Sure.
So that puts him at 32, 33 years old. I think the way he skates and the way he plays, he's not like, not to say Brent Burns, but he's not a guy that physically hits a lot of people. So the wear on his body's not going to be as much.
Right.
Even though he's getting hit in the boards a lot. Yeah. At least he was in the playoffs. The way he plays, the way he skates, I think if he was 100% healthy and could skate, he would have skated out of a lot of those hits.
Yes.
To begin with.
Absolutely.
So I think that slowed him down a little bit. Just that groin injury is just such a pain to deal with. So I agree. I agree with you. I think he is worth the money, and I think it will be a bargain. There's also how many Norris Trophy winning defensemen are free agents ever.
Right.
It's almost like Tavares going on the open market. It is so rare that you get a generational talent like that, and you have a chance to lock him up for 8 years.
And that's why Tavares on the market was such a huge thing, was because, oh my God, look at this talent that's available, right? It's just whoever's willing to throw as much money as they can at him. Now, I guarantee you, Erik Karlsson doesn't sign with the San Jose Sharks. He's getting signed by somebody who's willing to overpay. And he, on the open market, I mean, he might be getting closer to that 12 to 13.
There will be,
who knows?
I'd say 6 to 7 teams that will do what they can to sign him to that money, which means his price goes up even more, which is why the Sharks could lock him up hopefully before July 1st.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how that shakes out. But, I mean, see, the funny thing is this. What I said was, in a couple years, it'll look more like a bargain, right? In the now, it kind of handcuffs your team a little bit because you've only got so much cap space. And if Karlsson signs, we're assuming Pavelski can't because of the amount of money that Pavelski's going to ask for, right? So does it hurt your team by signing Karlsson in that you're not going to have certain players coming back and your depth might be hurt? Yeah, maybe. So in the first couple years, if they did sign him, it would probably look really, really bad because the Sharks wouldn't be able to have the depth that they have right now. And so people would say, well, this was a total waste. We shouldn't have signed Karlsson. It totally screwed our team up. But then year 3 or year 4, cap's starting to creep up a little bit more. You've got other rookies that are on their entry-level contracts that are playing extremely well, right? So you're able to get a few more guys back in. You maybe have another team like this year's team, right? I think in a few years, we would look like a really good team as opposed to the first year after signing him to like an $11 million contract. It would probably hurt us a little bit. So you're going to get those people that are like, see, we shouldn't have signed him if we do, because of the amount of depth that it restricts.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
And if Karlsson signs, that most likely means Pavelski's going to be gone.
Yeah.
I don't think Pavelski's coming back.
At all.
Regardless. And we could see Pavelski and Karlsson both not signed.
Tell them why you think that, regardless of whether or not EK65 signs, why do you think Pavelski's gone? Because I'm interested too. So
I don't know what to say here.
Oh boy. Okay.
I think for me, part of it is I think they promised Couture the captaincy, and the better way to do it, which the Sharks haven't really done over the years, is to let your captain go or trade him, and then the new captain comes in, right?
As opposed to stripping the captaincy like
right.
I'm doing air quotes for the podcast, like they did with Thornton.
Couture makes $8 million a year, which is a steal, I think.
Sure.
I was gonna say it's a steal. I think on the open market you could probably get closer to 10 or 11.
Okay.
So I think that was part of the promise is take a slight discount. We're gonna name you captain, and you're gonna be the guy here. Once Pavelski and Thornton move on, basically you're gonna be the face of the franchise. One of many, Burns and Karlsson, and maybe that's it.
You know what's funny is when you look at Thornton potentially retiring, Pavelski potentially moving on, and these are the two guys, again, one's the captain, one's the former captain, and the resident, not clown, but fun guy in the locker room, Thornton is, right? If both of them were to leave, gosh, how does that change the chemistry and the overall feel and the culture inside of that locker room?
That's part of the reason why I think Pavelski's gone, is I think Couture is going to take control and be that. He's going to change the culture in a way. Not completely change it, but
Pavelski
lead it.
Pavelski took the captaincy, and Joe Thornton took a step down from having the C, but he was still active in terms of leadership and whatnot within the locker room. Do you see that maybe being a possibility, like Couture taking the C and Pavelski just kind of stepping back, stepping down, maybe putting the A on his jersey instead, but still being a part of that? Or because otherwise, gosh, with your former captain gone and Joe Thornton, again, he's so loved in that locker room, and anytime they have a bad day, Jumbo Joe brings them right back. That's what Burnsy says, right? So, gosh, can you imagine the culture? And like Couture seems more like Captain Serious, like the Jonathan Toews, right?
Right.
Does that change the locker room almost too drastically?
Maybe they need that kind of change.
Could be.
It hasn't worked, right? They haven't won a cup doing it that way. They've gotten to the finals, and they've gotten to the Western Conference Finals, but I don't really have the answer because I'm not in the locker room, so I don't get to see what that's like.
Right.
But you always try something. If it doesn't work, then you go try something else.
Sure.
You kind of do trends of what other teams that are winning do. So that kind of changes and comes and goes. But a lot of people are going through in the comments right here about what they want to do for next year in terms of signing. I think Pavelski won't sign, and I think they're leaning towards signing Karlsson.
Okay.
Did I say that right? Pavelski won't sign, and Karlsson will sign.
Yeah.
So I just think they're going to tie up that money, and then they still have to pay Timo Meier as not a UFA, but a.
Do you think these playoffs have helped or hurt Timo in terms of money?
For him personally, I think hurt him. I think if he had a monster playoffs, he would have gotten monster money.
Yep.
Now I think it's going to be more of a bridge deal type thing, maybe 3 to 4 years of $6 million, $5-6 million, and then after that deal, if he's proven himself and is the top guy or one of the top wingers, then he'd be getting closer to the $8, $9, $10 million. So I think it helped the Sharks, and it hurt him personally. Yeah, he's going to take a hit, and he's not a UFA, he's a
RFA.
RFA.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it.
Restricted.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Jason Hillier, how do you let a 38 goal scorer walk though? Easy, you don't sign him. Not to be mean, I understand what you're saying. I just think you also have to think, okay, Pavelski is 35, 34?
35, I think.
So he's at the peak?
No, he's...
My point of 38 goals is going to be the peak.
Oh, I see.
I don't think he's going to top 38 goals. So
maybe, yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be paying a premium for a guy who's not going to get that high anymore.
Yeah.
And I love Pavelski. Don't get me wrong. In fact, this shirt is mine. None of you are having this. It's mine. I'm realistic too. Like at the same time, there's no way he's going to be able to score 38 or more goals again. I mean, we thought he was going to break his career was 40 or 41. We thought he could get. Yeah. We thought earlier he could possibly get if he was healthy, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I love him, but I just don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, you got to separate the personal side from the business side, and that's what sucked about having Patty Marleau go. But with the thing with Marleau leaving was Toronto gave him a deal that the Sharks just would not have been able to give him. Right? They gave him good money, and they gave him 3 years, so they gave him money in term for a guy that's at the end of his career. And I think Toronto right now
they're in trouble now.
Wouldn't mind not having given him 3 years.
6.25. Last year.
He's got one more year. If they gave him 6.25 for 2 years, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. But
I bet they're going to try and move him. And I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
They did it because they wanted him as a mentor for their 2 young guys.
And it worked. I
mean, it did. It worked in spades.
Marner and Matthews, they're like family.
Unbelievable. Well, just on the ice, off the ice, but on the ice, I don't think they would have the success as quick as they did if they didn't have Patrick Marleau there. I think he brought them in the fold in his family and took care of them.
Yeah.
His wife helped cook meals for them, like made them feel like at home, so they didn't have to worry about that. Imagine being a rookie and they're not getting paid that much money yet because they're still on their entry level contracts, but here's $1 million and here's some bonus money, right?
Yeah.
Figure it out at 19 years old. How much did you cook for yourself? When you're a professional athlete, you don't really understand nutrition that well.
Please,
we
instant
saw that
noodle.
We saw that with what's his name, the rookie, the guy we drafted this year, Merkley.
Yeah,
I was just say Gambrell. Merkley. He came up during training camp and stayed with Burns and his family and learned how to eat and how to be professional. And Burns is one of the best at it because he eats so clean
because he owns a ranch and kills axis
deer.
But
the whole reason he does that is to eat clean.
Yes,
he knows what he's putting into his body.
Right.
He's very cognizant of it. Whereas other people will be like, I'm going to go get some beer and chicken and whatever. Not every night, but every now and then. Where like you lose focus and because you're young and at that point in your career, that Merkley, like as an example, right? He's always been the best. Always nobody's been better than him. And then you come to the NHL and you're like, you're a nobody at that point. You have to really make a name for yourself and you have to really focus and stay because you're not going to take the league by storm unless you're one of the top 2 overall picks. So it's a struggle and it's helped. So anyway, back to Marleau. That's the whole reason they signed Marleau is to help those 2 guys.
And back to Pavelski from all of that. I mean, I think that Pavs is probably going to be worth more for himself and for his family and everything on the open market, right? People are going to go, oh, he's a 38 goal scorer. Yeah, he's 35, but I mean, he was he's a captain, so his leadership qualities are all there. He's a guy that's a really hard worker. He gets in front of the net. He takes a beating. If he gets a concussion, he's probably coming back anyway. He's got there's a lot of good qualities of this guy, and he put in 38 goals, right?
You could see him being kind of like Marleau going to a team where there's a lot of young players, and he's a former captain. Maybe he's the captain of the new team, of a young team, to mentor those guys. A young team, and being a young team these days, the NHL is not as big of a deal as it was 15, 20 years ago when those teams were awful. Now those players are really good. The league kind of favors those types of players, the young, fast, and skilled players, which is exactly what these guys are. So it's not necessarily a death sentence of going to a new team,
right?
Or not a new team, but a young team that maybe missed playoffs this year. So to me, that was a very long-winded answer on Pavelski, but I just think that's the direction that they're kind of going. Let's take this question. Nicholas Egan, will you guys still be doing weekly episodes in the off season? I kind of covered this earlier. We'll probably follow what we did this season, our very first one, which is the draft, the free agent signing day, which is July 1st. We'll come out after the 4th of July around then, unless something big happens, like we had the Carlson signing or trade. If something big happens, we'll cover it, and then
We might
maybe
have
every now and then we'll throw something up there.
Yeah, we might have some good content regarding development camp stuff. We've been I don't want to say too much about it, but we might have some stuff going on with development camp, which would be great because get an opportunity to see some of the guys that are up and coming, some of the guys that are going to be playing on the Barracuda. And again, if you hadn't gone to any Barracuda games, for Sharks fans obviously, but if you hadn't gone to any Barracuda games, why not? They're $10. You go out there and you check them out. They're a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of fun things that are going on. It's great for families, great for kids. So definitely give them a look. And if we have the opportunity to kind of go to the development camp and see what those guys are up to and what they're doing and how they're doing, maybe chat with a couple of them, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if we can kind of finagle our way into something like that. So, but I think we won't have as many stories and things to talk about in the off season as we did in the first season. So I don't know that we're gonna do once every week.
No.
But I think what we'll do is we'll have an episode that, like he said, for the draft, for the free agent signings. If something big happens, we'll do an episode on that. Then stuff like development camp, right, maybe. And as the roster gets ready to go and they start going right into getting into preseason, we'll probably have a couple episodes or one or two at least.
We'll probably be back weekly by September.
Yeah.
Beginning of September.
Yeah.
Because then that's when training camp and everything, all that stuff starts.
Sure.
Development camp.
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe we'll get some guests on too. Like last year we had Randy Hahn on before the season started.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get some more guests. We'll work with the NHL or the Sharks alumni. Get some more alumni guys.
We got a little bit more space here. I don't know if we're going to try to work on one or two before the season's over.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
we'll
maybe
see.
we'll get another one in there. Nathaniel Arias, Arias, I don't know how you say that. $1.99, finals predictions, and one player the Sharks can't lose and why. He said loose, but I know what you meant.
One player the Sharks can't lose. You're talking about somebody who's a free agent.
I'm going to guess a free agent.
Yeah.
So let's go over the free agents real quick. I'll just list them.
Okay.
Well, first, finals predictions.
Well, hold on. Donskoy, Haley, Pavelski, Thornton, Nyquist, Carlson, Heed, all UFAs. I'm going to skip the RFAs because they're staying.
I don't know. Like any of those guys, I think you can replace them. Right, I think if you don't sign Nyquist, but you signed everybody else, we'd be okay. If you didn't sign Paz, but you signed everybody else, we'd be okay. So it's a combination of guys that I think you don't want to go without. But that kind of speaks again to the depth that Doug Wilson set this team up with. Is that any one of those guys goes down and you're not in such a horrible position. Now, obviously, in today's game, we had three of our best players out, and yes, that hurt us, and our depth was definitely tested. But we were already getting ran out of the building against a faster, hungrier St. Louis Blues team. So, of those guys, who do I want to stay? You know what the funny answer is? Tim Heed. I want Tim Heed to stay. You know why? He's gonna be cheap.
Paul's cheap. I don't know if you knew this.
Paul's very cheap.
Do you I play GM mode, and let me tell you, it's good having those guys.
I keep it right at the floor. Never the ceiling, always the floor.
No, I do go to the ceiling, but you need guys that don't cost you much because you need players who are good and reliable. I thought Tim Heed played well today. I think he did a good job. For the less than maybe $1 million, whatever it is that you're going to pay him, maybe $1 million. You pay Tim Heed, and he's going to be one of your guys on the top six, and he's reliable, and he's a puck-moving defenseman. Yeah, sign me up. Oh, and he's a right-handed shot? Yeah, sign me up. Like, I'm cool with that. The other guys, Nyquist, they're way more talented at their position than Tim Heed is. Way more talented. They're going to cost you a whole heck of a lot more. And I can find other free agents, or I can make other trades for guys that are just as good and fill my salary cap up with that. But finding guys that are NHL ready that aren't going to cost you a whole heck of a lot, those are fewer and farther between.
What I think is going to happen, I think they're going to sign Carlson. I think Nyquist, Donskoy, Pavelski, those guys are all gone, and I'll tell you why. I think they lock up that blue line. They have Vlasic, Burns, Carlson locked up.
Okay.
Those other three, you can pair them up with whoever.
Okay.
Scrubs, right? Now you're locked up on your defense. Maybe not so much goalie with Martin Jones. They'll probably bring up some other guys, younger guys, to challenge him. But your defense is locked up. Now you have some younger guys, Shemlevsky.
Shmelyevsky, yeah.
Shemlevsky. I still can't say it. But we have a couple of
like
those young
smell,
forwards.
Schmell.
Yeah.
Schmell,
We have a couple of those young forwards that you can fill in that are going to be cheap for the first couple years of their thing, and they're going to be able to produce. So I think they're going to try and build through the back end and then go forward from there.
Okay.
And then you're going to have about a 3-year window where they're going to be competitive and vie for a Stanley Cup based on their defense and moving the puck and getting it to those younger guys and having the younger guys kind of carry the forwards at least. And they're going to be able to work hard and not be as injured, hopefully. I don't know. Who knows? That's just my thought.
One interesting thing that I heard you say here was we'll re-sign Karlsson, but Nyquist won't get re-signed. And one of the points you made earlier was I bet they signed Nyquist because...
If Karlsson stayed.
Because it was Karlsson's, not suggestion, I guess, but he wanted Nyquist on the team, right?
He referred him,
right.
I guess.
So that's a good word.
Yeah.
So with Karlsson getting re-signed, it sounded like you were thinking that Nyquist might be part of that group.
Sure.
Do you think
he could throw
Nyquist
Nyquist in? I don't think he'd be super expensive. Maybe $5 million, $6 million.
Okay.
And he would be a top 6 guy.
So you think Timo Meier gets paid more than Nyquist then?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's younger.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think Nyquist is super old.
No.
He is 29. But
he's like in his prime.
He can also play in his left or right wing. He can
which is
alternate.
Nice.
Yeah. We didn't say what our predictions are.
Oh.
Finals predictions, real quick. What do you think?
You do it. I don't.
I'd say Blues in 6.
Wow. Super producer Jason's salty on the Blues right now. So.
Blues win at home in Game 6.
You think so?
Yep.
Wow. I don't know. For me, it's too close to call. I think this one goes 7. And if it doesn't go
and
7, honestly, I think the Bruins are going to come out with this one. I really do. I like the Blues, and I think they represent the West really, really well. But I just think the Bruins are just.
That means Marchand's going to lick the cup.
I know, and I don't want it to happen. I don't like it,
guys.
First
he's going to punch the puck, or punch the cup, and then he's going to lick it.
I don't like it. He'll sucker punch it. He'll sneak up on the cup and then hit it. No, I don't like it. I don't want it to happen. I just feel like that's kind of how it's going to play out. But hey, I hope I'm wrong. I hope St. Louis Blues get their first cup and get that done and out of the way. It's a city that's been waiting.
Yeah.
Just like the Washington Capitals. Maybe that's what we're looking at. Maybe we're looking at the Capitals got their cup. The Blues will get their cup. The Sharks, maybe, after that?
Sure.
Maybe. Who knows?
Josh R. 399, and thank you for the comment. He's asked a bunch of times. What are your thoughts on Gambrell tonight?
Honestly, all things considered, he played well. And he got a goal, which is great. First NHL goal, and he gets it in an elimination playoff game.
I thought that goal was a goal scorer's goal right there. He sniped that thing right in the bottom corner.
Yeah, by all means, Binnington normally would have made that save, but all of a sudden, Gams throws it in there. And
I think because of the angle, he kind of lost sight. I think
that's fair.
Binnington did lost sight of where he was, and just kind of his angles were off. That was a snipe, man. He hit it right, almost off the post and in. That was a pretty good hit.
Yeah, it was great.
And we see a lot of Sharks try that and miss the net.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I did notice that he kind of took over on the Thornton line.
Yeah.
Like he was playing with Sorensen and LeBanc on his wings.
Young boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, get used to this.
That's a future look.
Yeah,
right there.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
I could see Dylan Gambrell being a third-line center next season without Thornton.
Totally, yeah.
Again, that's why I think Thornton's gone.
That's fair enough.
Oyster Shucksters, $1.99. Any idea or guess what Vlasic said to the refs after the game? He probably said, very good game and good series. You guys are excellent referees. I appreciate everything you do. But in French.
I think he probably gave him some other French. But I don't know.
I can't imagine him.
They're probably trading their PS4 usernames.
I don't know. I didn't see it either. I was angry.
I didn't see it
and
either,
I shut it off.
Yeah,
I watched the handshakes and then I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, no. I had other things to do.
Yeah, I was helping put my kids to bed too.
Nathaniel gave a spelling of, or a pronunciation of his last name, Arias.
Arias.
Not like the font Arial.
Oh, okay. Arias.
Arias. It's Arias.
Arias. Okay.
Thank you.
Stanley Cup Finals. This is Rick Carpenter. Stanley Cup Finals will be decided by whoever can give out the most concussions.
Jeez.
That's true.
That's harsh, but yeah. I don't
If
know.
they're
I
not
think
calling it,
it's
you
going
know
to be a
what?
hard-hitting series.
Let's just say this, okay? A lot of Sharks fans are really upset about the concussions and the high hits from the St. Louis Blues. And a lot of the Blues fans are saying, suck it up, Buttercup. Come on, guys. Really? Okay, here's the way I see it. If they're not calling it, yeah, I mean, you hit them high, I guess. I mean, it's not it's not the cleanest way to play. It's not a nice way of playing. But I mean, if they're not making the calls, then the only people you can blame are the refs, right? The Blues are just doing what they know they can get away with, right? I mean, if the Sharks were, out there skating around and hitting anybody as well, and they weren't getting called for any hitting people in the head, then they keep doing it, I guess. It's anything you can do to get an edge. And it sucks to say that because you'd rather, you want to play it clean, but not saying that the Blues are just dirty. But at the same time, you blame the refs. For Sharks fans, don't blame the Blues for hitting them high. Blame the refs for not calling it, right? Same way for the Blues. Don't blame the Sharks for a hand pass. Blame the refs for not calling it, right? There's I don't know. That's my whole take on it, is that everybody wants to say the Sharks sucks because of this and the Blues suck because of that. And it's like, if anything you're talking about has anything to do with the way that the rules play out and who took advantage of the rules, then you need to get upset with the referees. That's kind of just how I see it. So, yeah.
Yep.
No, you're reading something else. You have no idea what I just said. It's totally
was
okay.
listening. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up these comments, and it's just not working. There's so many.
Go
We still have
ahead.
166 on your
Wow.
watching. So
Thanks for sticking around,
Yeah,
by the way.
thank
We
you.
appreciate you guys sticking with us. That's awesome.
we don't have Super Key Grip Joe tonight, so
That's hurtful.
really tough.
Yeah.
People want to know what your Conn Smythe winners would be at this point, because right now I think still Couture was winning the scoring race.
Yeah.
So nobody's really kind of sticking out scoring wise. So everyone's thinking it could be Rask or Bennington based on who wins. I mean, based on that series, I think it's going to depend on how the finals go.
Yeah.
If there's a player or two that take over the finals, and they'll probably just lean towards that way.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's the goalies, then for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I don't think I don't think there's a situation where we see an opposing or a losing team winning.
Yeah.
The Conn Smythe.
I think
it's going to be from the winner.
If the Blues win and Bennington's holding them to like 2 goals or less, right? I think he's a shoo-in. Considering everything that, he's a rookie player, comes in, all of a sudden they do great throughout the regular season, but then, during the playoffs, they really, they surged and they played really well.
Yeah.
And they played really well in front of him. So I think that, Bennington might be a shoo-in if St. Louis were to win it and they keep the goal totals down. But I think you're right. If any one player is just lighting it up, I mean, Schwartz, for instance. Schwartz all of a sudden came out of nowhere, and he's just scoring goals like crazy now, right?
Tarasenko. Tarasenko hadn't been doing much in the playoffs. In this series, he had like a 6-game point streak.
Yeah.
Or in the series, he had a 6-game point streak. So, what if he continues that and he just scores like 7 goals and 6 assists in the finals?
Yeah.
There's your Conn Smythe winner. So
Sure.
we don't know. It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
It could be Bennington or Rask if it is a very low scoring series. Like you said, like the finals are just
Yeah.
if they're like 1-goal games, and
Which again, I mean, it's not really fair because the 5-man unit in front of him is also doing a whole heck of a lot to keep the shots to the outside, to clear the rebounds, staying out of Bennington's eyes. I wish the Sharks would take a page out of that one.
yeah,
Staying out of Jones's eyes. I mean, even tonight I saw Jones like kind of crouching and looking around Brent Burns. It's like, dude, move, but whatever is what it is.
yeah. Samuel Frick said Bennington reminds me of Matt Murray in Pittsburgh with his composure in high pressure situations. I
Sure.
can see that. And Machiavelli, Columinati, it's quite the name. Bennington rebound control's awful. He's out of the league in the next 3 to 4 years unless he fixes that. I agree. I don't think I wouldn't say it's awful. It's just not great. And I think their defense cleared that up, and that's part of their, not so much strategy, but when Bennington took over, it's different when your defense go, okay, we need to help this guy out because he's a rookie, right? So we need to really bust our butts to get back and get these rebounds out of here. Whereas if you have like a goalie that's been around like Jake Allen, who's you're expecting more out of him, right? Your expectations a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Then you go, oh, there's a rebound there, and it's too late, and then it gets buried. So I think they play a little bit differently because he's a rookie. His rebound control is also poor because he's still a rookie. That's not an easy thing to really learn or really do unless you're a super elite goalie, which Binnington is. I wouldn't say he's quite elite yet. He's a good goalie. I'd like to see a entire full season out of him. But yeah, he reminds me of Matt Murray. Kind of came out of nowhere in a way, took over the starting position, and is leading the team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playing very well. He hasn't been lights out the entire time. We've seen the Sharks kind of destroy him, and I feel like in game 1 they just lit him up. So he's not completely consistent to be to me an elite goalie yet.
Sure.
But he could be on his way, and I'm not saying he won't be. Just right now, he's still a little too young and a little too green.
But like you said, I mean, if he's coughing up rebounds, and again, that 5-man unit in front of him is doing a whole heck of a lot to make sure that he's not seeing an extra shot here or an extra shot there. They're clearing the pucks out. I just think that's a good strategy to have regardless of who you have in net, right? I mean, if the goal is to score more goals than your opponent does, regardless of how many you put in, if you limit them to putting none or one in the back of your net, you have a much better opportunity, much better chance of winning that game. So I think that you're going to see a lot more, I think you're going to have a successful team playing a lot more lockdown in front of their own net, and keeping everything to the outside as best you can, getting out of your goalie's eyes, getting in the passing lanes, it's disrupting that middle area. If you can do that more often than not, I think you set yourself up for success regardless of who you've got net. And if you have an elite goaltender in net and you're constantly pushing all these shots out of high danger areas, well, yeah, you're probably getting a shutout that night, right? So I think a lot of it has to do, again, with that 5-man unit, and I think a lot more teams should be focusing on playing solid defensively and allowing that to get your team to get the puck back, regain possession, and then let offense just take care of itself. So
Vance Wilson, hey guys, thanks for doing this show. It's awesome and I appreciate your time and effort. Gonna hit the hay now, so see you next season. Tough loss, but teal till I die. Go Sharks. Thanks for subscribing, I'm assuming, and watching the show. I appreciate it. Niemi, I feel like, is a goalie who was like that when he was on Chicago. Made the first stop, gave out horrible rebounds, but at that time they had elite defensemen clearing out those rebounds, and they won a cup.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's some talk in there about Niemi too, getting Niemi back, which has got to be a joke.
No. We tried that. I was excited when we first got him too, but no.
Mr. Sandpaper, I'm going to start this from the beginning later, so feel free not to respond if you answer this already, but are you going to do live shows for the finals? No. We're going to take a break for the lives. This will be the last live until we do Season 2, which will be probably not, I don't think we'll do a live maybe until August or September or something like that.
Put it this way, if we change our mind and we want to do a live show for any reason whatsoever, make sure that you're subscribed so that you get the notification when we do that, right? But I think, yeah, we're probably not going to be doing any live content up until we're closer into the next season here. I think this will be the last one. So
yeah.
But again, you never know. So hit that sub button, and if we do change our minds, you'll know about it.
Yep. And Nathaniel Arias. Well, I'm out, guys. Enjoying seeing and learning about the Sharks. Definitely looking forward to future live videos and in general the Fin Factor. Let's go Avs and Bruins. No, let's not go Avs and Bruins. But, yeah. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for tuning in and
thanks
being a part of this.
No, we appreciate it, bud. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Justin. My head, $1.99. When do we see the injury report? Try for the cover. Thank you for the coverage. Those try. Thank you for the coverage. I don't know. It's usually when they clean out their lockers, they kind of go through a list, and they kind of they really try and downplay it. The players try and downplay it. They don't like to make excuses for themselves. Yeah. I think the Mercury News usually does a good job of listing it out after interviewing everybody, and some of those injuries you still won't know about until weeks later. They don't really just come out and say usually like how many or who has the injuries and what they are. And it's funny that they're still sometimes vague about it, which is weird. Sometimes they just don't want you to know they're going to have surgery or something. So
some of those guys are probably going to be free agents, and they don't need people knowing that they've had some sort of an injury that maybe it has a stigma. Oh, he can't come back from that. He won't be the same, right? So maybe that's part of it too. Who knows?
Yeah. And just in, John Williams, $1.99. Thank you. A blue note is a fin if you turn it sideways. The Blues note.
Okay, it's a fin. Oh, okay. Cool. I love it. Thanks for the $1.99 as well. Appreciate that.
That's
I'll
great.
have to try to. I don't think we have. There's nothing blue. What am I looking around here for? I don't have anything blues.
Yeah, let's do roll call. Tell us where you're watching from and how you found us. And I'll just read through a bunch of them as they pop up here. And Joe's One Too Many just commented. Just wanted to say it was fun with you guys. Fun with all of you guys. Still mourning the loss in the season, but I'm glad to find a place where we can all chat about the Sharks. See you guys after the summer. Go Sharks. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's kind of sad. We're like saying goodbye to everybody. But we are doing another episode.
We're going to do a recorded
episode.
We're going to do a recorded episode, and I feel like even that recorded episode might not be the end of Season 1. We might do a separate Season 1 kind of
memoriam
episode kind of thing. Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Maybe we'll cut up all the outtakes, and you guys will enjoy all of our bloopers.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah,
Lord knows we have enough from the first 10 episodes.
Actually, you know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea. Is if we can get those guys to let us know the timestamps, so that we don't have to go through every single video. If there's something that you saw that you thought was like,
no, they don't have
funny
access to all the stuff that we cut out.
Oh, the bloopers.
Yeah,
okay, I thought you just meant parts of the season.
No.
Okay,
Well, you could do that too if you want.
Yeah, send us. You can email us actually, probably with the timestamp, thefinfactor@gmail.com. Let us know what video and the timestamp. If there is something that you think we should put into like a collaboration video or something like that, maybe we'll put something together. So,
right.
There you go.
All right, let's go through the roll call. Mr. Sandpaper, bummed in San Diego. Nola Brink, St. Louis. Illuminato, Sacramento. Gonna miss my regular hangouts with y'all. Yeah, me too. The Way to Never, Drinking in My Misery from Dallas. Spencer Cafaro, Los Gatos, California. Body Tingler. Is that a new name? That's funny. From Vancouver, British Columbia. Found you on YouTube. That's how you spelled it. Ben Angunsri, Thailand. No trip to the Bay this year. Sorry, buddy. Sorry they didn't make it to the finals.
Yeah.
So hoping you can make it out here. And it jumped on me. Sonic Tonic, Monterey, California. Tommy Embrick, Gloria, Keep Up the Drive Alive, singing it. Let's Go Blues from Columbia, South Carolina.
What is the Gloria thing?
I don't get it.
Can one of the Blues fans please explain to us, first of all, the Gloria thing?
What was the other song?
The fans sing a song. Like it's like the 7th inning stretch or something like
right.
that. Yeah.
To me, it reminds me of the Red Sox singing
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah. Like it makes no sense.
If somebody from the Blues can explain that too, because I don't know what it is and I don't care to look it up. But if you guys can tell us, that'd be awesome. So,
Max Musterman, back from Germany, Cologne. It's now 7 a.m. here.
All right.
Wie geht's, mein Freund? Lundy, 87, Minnesota. Been here since episode 1. Subbed on AK65 episode. Mr. Sandpepper, thanks for the show, guys. Love it, and I'll see you next season. Mike Stevens, I'm watching in the state of despair.
Oh, now I'm sad too.
That's just north of disappointment.
Oh, look at that. Another dad joke. Stevenson Yee, San Francisco, California. The Fin Factor makes my body tingle. San Jose Sharks till I die, even though they keep choking.
Is this choke, though? Is this really a choke?
I don't
like this game, I would say no, it's not
choke.
A choke
Would be losing to Vegas in the first round.
Yeah.
That would be choke.
Yeah.
I would maybe even if they lost to Colorado in like 4 or 5 games, that would be a choke job.
See, again, disappointed with the way that it
Right.
ended. Disappointed, yes. I expected them to go farther, but choke, I don't think so.
Santi Marquez, Stockton, California. Where are we? Song Tonic, don't forget to post the podcast feed too, please. We always post that either tonight or in the morning.
Usually in the morning.
We're pretty quick on it.
Within 12 hours.
Yeah, within 12 hours it'll be posted up. Spencer Cafaro, down the street. I've met Bernsey and Thornton. They both live in Los Gatos. Shh, don't tell them where they live. No, I'm just kidding. Misfit, still Utah. And it jumped. Hold on. Sorry. Still Utah. Glad I was able to make it out for Game 5 on Saturday, even though that outcome, but especially so with tonight. Got to see the boys in the playoffs. Yeah, I was out there too. And it was awful. That game was horrendous. Von Merkin, Sacramento, California. Mike Stevens, Sacramento, California. You guys should have a little group together. Super Chiara, San Francisco. Jacob Lyons, would you be surprised if the Sharks go to another retool?
Yeah, no. I would not at all be surprised if they retool.
I think the retool would be
They
Simon
have
Carlson long term.
They have to retool.
A couple other guys.
Because for cap reasons, they have to retool. I mean, again, you're talking about you have to lose Pavelski or Carlson.
Yeah.
Just from cap. Anything that happens after that, yeah, you're pretty much retooling. Like, you're going to have to let a couple guys go. You're going to have to bring a couple other guys in, whether it's, bringing up the youth or whatever it is. Yeah, you're going to have to do a couple little things here and there. Yeah, for sure.
American Dad, Tacoma, Washington. What's up with those bobbles, though?
How about them bobbles, though? So he wants to know about the giveaways.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was alluding to.
What about the bobbles? They shake. We have to figure out exactly which ones we're going to be doing the giveaway for.
We'll figure that out for the episode. We'll give those the information on how to get them on the episode.
And once again, if you are subscribed to the show, you will get the notification when we put that episode out so that you don't get left out in the cold. Because I don't know how long we're going to have that available to people, like, hey, within a day or 2 days or a week. I don't know. So you're going to want to get that episode as soon as you see it.
Yep.
So, but real quick, we're going to be doing some of the baubles, not all. We're going to be doing probably the playoff mode boxes, I think. These pucks, I think we're giving all of these pucks or no?
Yeah.
Probably all 3 of these pucks. He says he's keeping the Joe Pavelski shirt, but the rest of them, I think, we'd be okay to give, as well as, where'd it go? I don't think I have it here. Oh, I don't have it here. There's a small Fanatics women's hooded sweatshirt. It's got a Sharks logo on the front. And we don't have it here. It's at my house. That we just have an extra one, and we haven't worn it or anything. So I'm gonna throw that into the mix too. We'll go ahead and give that one away as well. So if you're a small woman who needs a hooded sweatshirt that's black and has the Sharks logo on it, then we'll be doing that too. But so there's a bunch of stuff that we're going to be giving. And again, the way that you're going to know about that is if you are subscribed, and then we'll probably do the same thing we did last time, maybe not with the hashtag, because everything showed up in the held for review and I had to go through and approve 100 something comments.
We'll figure it out,
which was a pain.
A better way.
But yeah, we'll figure out a better way, but that's how you're gonna know. Also, again, through socials. So for Twitter and Facebook at the Fin Factor, and for Instagram at Fin Factor. I'm sure we'll put something up about the stuff there as well.
Okay, Bob Jackson, do a bloopers episode. Make one of Aaron messing up players' names. There's enough for an hour, I bet. 180 AD, San Diego. Jorgen Bedstead, Fresno, California. Body Tingler, yes, I'm new. Von Merkin, Brazil, Komodo. Nick Weeder, Turlock, California. Found you guys late this year and haven't missed an episode since.
Nice.
Von Merkin, Fatre-Cements, France. I don't speak French very well. Sorry.
You can just say somewhere in
France.
There you go.
Noah Brink, my best buds from Vacaville. Cool. JP, West Virginia. Hugh Tahoob, do you have a sale since the Sharks lost? We are doing a 10% off sale. We're doing a 10% off sale for the playoffs. What we are going to do is stop that sale. So you should get your swag now if you want it. Illuminato, West Virginia. Zinxie, Northern Quebec, 10 hours north of Ottawa.
Big Red.
Red.
Yeah.
That was his next part.
Oh, which, by the way, are you going to play tonight, Zinxie? Please say yes, because we need to play a little bit. So yeah.
Country
Aaron's
Roads.
way behind the chat. So
I know. Country Roads is the song that they sing.
Okay.
So Gloria was a hit song that blues players discovered in a bar. Whatever. Von Merkin, West Virginia. Oh, maybe that's the name of the song.
That seems a lot less epic than I thought it should have been. But okay. That's cool.
Rich in California, San Jose, learned so much more about the Sharks because of you two. Thank you for the fantastic season. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, yeah.
Keith, San Jose, love the Doug Wilson Murray, the Doug video.
Oh,
All 3 Doug videos.
The Dougs. Yeah,
the Dougs. Psycho Penguin 29, San Jose, finally finished my homework.
go to bed, Brian.
Sorry, it's a John Denver song. Oh, that's why it's a John Denver song. I don't know.
Oh, no. It's not Denver, Colorado.
Sorry. Gloria came from a South Philly bar. Blues were down in the dump. Hung out for a night in South Philly bar. DJ kept playing the song all night. Ever since then, blues have been smooth sailing. So that's why they keep playing it.
All right.
Thank you for the explanation.
Better than the last explanation, but okay.
And I'm way behind. Okay. Spencer Cafaro, you guys rock. I'm looking forward to the show next year and watching it grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Me too.
Game 5, blah, blah, blah. Jeez. I'm trying to catch up here. Sorry. Noah Brink, Edmonton heard it in a bar during an NFL playoff game. We wanted to play it by our PA guy. Noah Brink's a Blues fan.
Okay.
Edmonton's the one that heard it in the bar. Okay. Let's see. Everyone's talking about choke jobs. Here we go. Oh.
No, I don't think so. There's one team that's going to win, and there's 30 other teams that are, there's 15 teams that are going to lose, and 16 other teams or 15 other teams that are just hot garbage. So, just because you don't win the cup doesn't mean you choke. I think that the Sharks had the team to do it this year. They definitely were probably the best team on paper. But again, the game is played on ice and not on paper, so it just wasn't our year. And I think a lot of it had to do with injuries. I'm not making excuses, observations. A lot of it had to do with injuries, and a lot of it had to do with St. Louis Blues just outworking us flat out. So I don't think that's choking. I think that's again, like Aaron said, if we went out in the first round against Vegas, I think that's a choke job there. But no, I mean, am I disappointed? Yeah, absolutely, I'm disappointed. I felt that this team should have went to the Stanley Cup final, but I wouldn't label it as choking. I know everybody loves to because it's just so easy to say the Sharks choked, but I don't know. I think it's cliche now, and that's not the case.
Yep. Shout out to Glasshouse Grown GHT. Thank you for the 99 cents. No comment. And okay, I guess we're done with roll call.
I was trying to give him time to catch up to.
Yeah.
But okay.
Everyone's talking about other teams that are choke jobs now. So I'm done with
Tampa Bay.
That's what
that is a choke job.
Tampa is a 100% choker.
Yes.
Yeah, getting swept in the first round after blowing out the league.
I might even say Calgary.
They went to 7, didn't they?
Should they have even gone to 7?
Hey, the Sharks went to 7 against Colorado.
Fine, but Calgary was higher placed than Colorado was, right? I mean,
so are we.
No, Calgary was higher placed than we were.
Still,
they were,
sure.
right?
Okay.
So I mean, if you're gonna call anybody a choke job, I mean, I think if you choke and you're in the Western Conference Finals, sign me up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. That's done. It is what it is. People are gonna say it's a choke job. Everybody on social that's not a Sharks fan is gonna say that anyway. So It doesn't matter. There's no point in disputing it. They're just whatever.
It's just an easy way to say.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, they lost again. Oh, they
get under the skin, ruffle the feathers. Way it's all good. So yeah.
Sorry, not everyone could be like the Warriors, where they just destroy everyone. Calgary lost in 5 games. They didn't go to 7. Yeah, that was a choke job.
They did lose 5?
Yeah, remember? They won the first game 4-0, and then they lost 4 straight. That's right.
That's right. I forgot
2 of them were overtime games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I forgot, too. That seems like so long ago.
Yeah, so there you go. See, I was right. That's a choke job.
Yep.
But the biggest one of all, dude, Tampa Bay. That's the biggest one of all, for sure.
Yeah. I did bring my my shaving kit so I can cut my beard off. I don't know if I wanted to do it on the show or not. It's just going to get messy.
Y'all really want to see that right now?
No.
I don't.
Plus, you'll hear it, too. The stupid thing vibrating. All right. Well, what else do you want to plug right now? We do have, let's plug our EASHL.
EASHL. So on PS4 and on Xbox One, we have thank you for watching. Okay, we're back. On EASHL for Xbox One, we have Patrick Cabral, who is an avid listener and viewer of the show. He's decided to go ahead and kind of take up the mantle of the Fin Factor EASHL Club for Xbox One because we don't have Xboxes. So if you go to the abbreviation search and you search for TFF, you will find the Fin Factor on Xbox One. If you do that on PS4, you will also find us. But we have ours closed. It's private because somebody somehow messed with our jersey, and the fix for that was make it private. I don't know. I do have a couple slots available on the team, but I just need people who are active and playing. So I'm really looking for guys that are going to jump on and play, which would be great. And if you have a friend that's kind of in your same, I don't know, time zone or whatever, if you guys jump on at the same time, tell your buddy to sign up with you or to request an ad with you so that the two of you guys can play at the same time. Play on 3v3, it doesn't matter. Really, all I'm looking to do is make the arena go up in level so I can play with it. That's my whole goal. So there's that.
We have a Twitch
thing?
channel, which I just posted on there. If you want to watch us play, sometimes there's some stuff that's recorded on there too.
And for podcast folks, it's
terrible we are.
What's the for podcast folks?
It's twitch.tv/The Fin Factor.
There you go, nice and easy. All of our socials, of course, on the Facebook and Twitter is at The Fin Factor. Instagram is at Fin Factor. And again, please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the show, because why wouldn't you?
Yep,
that's my whole spiel on that one.
And let's just go. Next season we'll be on NHL 20.
Yeah.
Again, so we'll create another team, and that won't be from the very beginning of the season. So we'll probably get that arena unlocked a lot sooner.
I can't wait.
And then also I'm gonna do a fantasy hockey league for a bunch of people, because there's a lot of interest in that. Maybe even have to do 2 different leagues. I'll figure out how to set it up, depending on how many people. And I think what else we got. I think that's about it. We got merchandise. If you want to help support the show and get something out of it, you can go to thefinfactor.com. There's the bottom. Use the coupon playoff mode and you get 10% off. And we will be shutting that coupon code soon. So if you'd like to get in your order, get it in the next week at least, and we'll figure out when we're going to cut that off. Yeah. Anything else?
No,
I think that's it.
I think we did it.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
We still got 129 people on here, so.
Well, folks, obviously for Sharks territory, kind of a disappointing way to end the season there. Again, I felt that the Sharks had the team on paper to get it done this year. We'll have to see what happens for the next season, and we'll obviously have another episode out to talk more about that. But
quick,
yeah.
Matt S. 999. Thank you for the great first year of the Fin Factor. Keep up the great work. And followed by Emma S. Another 99 cents with no comment.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Absolutely appreciate it very much. It will go a long way to helping us with our new set move, everything that's going on with that. So,
and yeah, someone had asked earlier, like, we're giving away like everything. The set's going to be bare next year.
Oh, not everything, but
I mean, we'll redo the set and we'll have a bunch of new stuff for next year.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that I only have one of, like the Hurdle Shimmick bobble.
In fact,
I'm
maybe
keeping that one. Sorry.
Maybe next year we can give away some stuff like once a month or something.
Yeah.
After an episode, we'll figure out. Some
stuff.
We'll
figure it
out.
We'll
figure out more giveaways.
Yeah.
We'll do that, because now we can kind of get some more stuff going from the Shark store and stuff like that.
Right. Right. Is that another one, or is that the?
I think that was
99 cents. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So again, we feel your pain. It's a bummer, but again, thank you guys so much for being with us throughout the season, our first season here. It's been a whole heck of a lot of fun. This is, again, until further notice, this is be our last live show until we start in with season 2. So, I don't know if you got a couple words you wanted to throw out there as well.
No, it's amazing how quickly this community and this show has grown. I don't think we were expecting this big, this fast.
Yeah.
So soon. It happened pretty quick. We had a couple of videos that blew up, which is just mind-boggling. One of them, the Carlson video, which I'm sure half of you guys found us from.
Over 10,000.
Yeah, it was like the first viral one that we had. That was viral. It was 10,000 views, which in the skew of YouTube videos isn't
For
much,
us.
but at that point we were getting about 100 views per video.
Yeah.
So so that was fantastic, and I really like the community that we built, especially during those live shows when we get some more interactions live, obviously, from people. I think it's a good group of people, and there's a lot of regulars, a lot of people that have been back and come back. In fact, Nathaniel's gone now, but we picked up some fans from other teams that enjoyed it so much, because we're not too super biased on the Sharks. I mean, obviously we are. But
we have to be a little bit biased,
but we're fair.
Because,
I feel like we're pretty fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, so yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the next season. Looking forward to another episode and do some more interviews for you guys. And if you have any suggestions on who you'd like us to interview, how about that? You can, I don't know, write it. Maybe I'll send that out as a question in the community tab on YouTube and get some good feedback from you guys. So yeah, that'd be fantastic.
That would be great. Okay, so I guess kind of signing off for the last live here. Gosh, it's kind of sad.
Single tier, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for super producer Jason, Super Key Grip Joe is not here tonight, but I'm sure he would say similar sentiments there. I am Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And we will see you guys
on Friday.
Probably on Friday. But if you're subscribed, you'll know. Goodbye.
Right. Bye.